Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the art of storytelling, and specifically, how a writer can take just a few words on a page and build a character that feels completely, totally real. And to do that, we're going to dive into Zadie Smith's brilliant short story, Martha, Martha.
I mean, it's the central magic trick of all fiction, right? How do they do it? Well, we're going to break down Zadie Smith's toolbox and see exactly how she constructs two incredibly vivid people who feel like they could walk right off the page and into your life. It all starts with a detail like this, just a single, sharp, kind of strange observation that immediately makes you lean in. You start asking questions, like, who is this person? What on earth is a concrete kiss curl? This is our very first look at Martha Pink, and really importantly, it's through someone else's eyes.
And the eyes we're looking through? Well, they belong to our point of view character, Pam Roberts. She's a real estate agent, and she's watching the world and her new client from her cozy little third-floor office.
So, the first move Zadie Smith makes, and it's a brilliant one, is she drops us directly inside Pam's head. Before anyone even says a word out loud, we have full access to her internal monologue. We hear all her private thoughts, her snap judgments, everything.
And what's the very first thing we hear in there? Judgment. Pure and simple. Right off the bat, Pam has already sized up this stranger. She's decided Martha is naive, and she's just kind of sitting back, waiting for reality to slap her in the face. So you see, we're not just observing the scene, we're filtering it all through Pam's biases.
So this inner commentary, it paints a picture of Pam really, really fast. She's a character who pretty much lives in her own head. You know, singing along to Mozart, running through her usual business patter. She's the world-weary expert, she's a little quirky, and she definitely feels a bit superior to the people walking through her door.
And what's really cool is Smith even gives us Pam's perception of herself. She knows she's a doodle nut about her clothes. This little detail is just fantastic because it shows this self-awareness that also, kind of paradoxically, reinforces how isolated she is. She is perfectly comfortable in the quirky little world she's built for herself. Okay, so we've met the observer. Now, let's turn our attention to the subject of all this observation, the very mysterious Martha Pink. Smith immediately sets up this brilliant tension. From 3 floors up, Pam sees this shrimpish girl who looks lost. But then Martha actually arrives in the office, and the reality is completely different. She's solid, muscular, and totally unapologetic. That gap right there between perception and reality, well, that's where the story really gets going.
And the second Martha starts talking, her personality just explodes into the room. This is no shrimpish girl. No way. This is someone with a list, someone with goals. And you notice how direct her dialogue is? It's all purpose. There's none of that social meandering that Pam relies on. So through her actions and her really direct words, Martha just becomes this force of nature. Pam sees her as all itinerary, and honestly, she's not wrong. Martha is on a mission, you know? She's here to get things done, to improve herself, to find a place to live, and she simply does not have time for the small talk. So now we have these two fully formed, very different people. The real story, the absolute magic of it all, happens when their worlds collide inside this tiny real estate office. What unfolds is just a masterclass in subtle conflict. The contrast is just fantastic. You've got Pam with her rambling patter, trying to build some kind of connection. And then there's Martha, who just wants the facts. She interrupts, she's direct, she gets right to the point. It's almost like they're speaking 2 completely different languages. And this exchange right here, it illustrates that clash perfectly. Pam is launching into her usual story, trying to create this little shared experience about the confusing building. But Martha just cuts right through all of it with one simple, practical fact. The lift's broken. It's a perfect little snapshot of their entire dynamic. So how exactly does she pull this off so efficiently? Let's actually look at the specific literary tools in Zadie Smith's toolkit that make all of this character work so powerful. Okay, the most crucial tool here is the point of view. By locking us inside Pam's mind, Smith makes us complicit in her judgments. We see Martha as shrimpish because Pam sees her that way. This forces us to discover who Martha really is right alongside Pam, which is so much more engaging than just being told about her. So the key takeaway is this simple but really powerful toolkit. You start with sharp observation. You create a gap between the character's inner world and their outer self.
You make every single line of dialogue reveal character, not just move the plot forward. And you masterfully control the point of view. It's that combination that turns words on a page into a person you feel like you know. And this leaves us with a fascinating final question. Just imagine for a second, what if this whole story were told from Martha's perspective? How would Pam come across? As a quirky, rambling, maybe even an inefficient agent? It's a powerful reminder that in great storytelling, just like in life, perspective is everything.